listeners.
Let's talk about hair loss. It's really big here. I was working with someone, I think they were doing something with the CDC, but I heard the statistic, and I don't know if you guys heard it, but they were saying like 60% of all African American women are experiencing hair loss. Can you speak to that?
So I can't confirm that statistic, but I see a lot of hair loss in my clinic daily. And I find that it's probably the incidence, it could be that high, because I just think that a lot of people don't come to the doctor as soon as they should, or they just attribute it to things like age. Oh, my mom had this, or it's genetics. But, I encourage my patients, if you are experiencing hair loss, come in early, because the main type of hair loss that we experience is actually like an inflammatory scarring hair loss. It's called CCCA, and it can have permanent effects. So a lot of times it's not just genetics, it's actually a condition, and it needs to be like addressed early to prevent more damage. But there are other causes of hair loss, but like age. Sometimes age really is the cause of hair loss, or genetics, or menopause and things like that. Stress can certainly cause hair loss. Internal issues like vitamin deficiencies or childbirth after having a baby, that can cause temporary hair loss. Hairstyles, traction alopecia is a real thing.
Yeah, it is.
Many people will also assume medications to it. I find less often that medications are really the issue. I mean, it's usually some form of genetic, something that's based in genetics, like the CCCA or female pattern. So by the time that we're 70, we'll all have some degree of just thinning of the hair, which is not destructive. It's just the same hair, but it's just thinner than what it was when you were younger. And so sometimes when I biopsy patients, we'll find multiple types of alopecia. So they'll have CCCA, they'll have traction on the edges, they'll have female pattern. Some will even have a background of telogen effluvium, which is stress-induced alopecia. So I always like to start with a scalp biopsy or sample just to know what we're starting with, because all of the alopecia is not just one thing. It's just hair loss, a lot of different diseases. There's inflammatory alopecias, there's more hormonal, there's genetic, there's stress, there's autoimmune alopecias, and so I like to establish what that is on the first visit.
What if you find out that the woman is wearing a lace front and she's been wearing it for 6 months?
Well, a lot of that also there's external factors too. Like sometimes the hair isn't growing because it's unhealthy. So you're not taking care of your hair, or your hair is breaking. Because I see a lot of patients, they come to me not because they actually have hair loss. Well, they do, but it's not a scalp condition. It's
hair breakage.
Exactly. It's breakage due to how your hair is dry, it's not hydrated enough. And I always tell my patients, I'm like, I'm not a hairstylist. So I refer them to a natural hair salon, because I do not do hair. I don't do my own hair. But
we do a lot to our hair. I mean,
can you guys really
color
speak
it
to that? Like the what Black women do to our hair?
It's traumatic.
How do y'all feel about lace fronts?
So I'm okay with the lace front, but I don't like the glue.
Okay.
So I like the glue can mess up your edges.
Have we talked about, or have you guys even looked into, or has anyone looked into what that glue is made out of?
I'm sure it has a lot of chemicals.
I have seen patients who've had allergic reactions. I've had a patient who was just like where the lace front was attached. And so we definitely can see allergic reactions to, not even just lace fronts, but even into the eyelash adhesive and all types of things that we use to attach. I'm not a fan of lace fronts.
Do tell.
It's really just, every time I see them, they're not attached.
What do you mean? You mean like when you were out and about and you see the little flip?
Yes. They're never fully attached.
So I have seen some really good lace fronts that are glueless.
Look at you being so supportive. She is fighting for y'all.
Listen, and I have hair too. But I like the ones that you can take on and off, because you can still like nurture your hair and your scalp at night. Like, I just don't like when people get their hairstyle and they just completely forget about like maintenance and hygiene. I'm like, no, you still have to wash your hair. You still have to like moisturize your hair and things like that. So it's just a lot of neglect.
We need a doctor to tell people that there might be damage with lace fronts.
Listen.
Will you be the doctors?
Yes. I do think that one thing that I will say, since we're talking about like washing and like styles, that protective styles.
Right.
So protective styles. One, anything that's pulling on your hair underneath and it's tight is not protective.
Can you say it again to that camera right there?
Anything that's pulling on your scalp and it's tight underneath is not protective.
Yeah.
So we often will see, you know, sew-ins and different styles like crochets where the braids that, you know, that the hair is attached to is too tight. You have bumps along the hairline. We have what we call traction folliculitis. So the scalp is pulled so tight that you see like little bumps along the hairline, or you can see that little white, almost like piece of
Like a little white dot.
material. That's literally
the bulb.
Yeah.
Your hair being pulled out. Yeah.
That's never a good sign. But I that's not what I was trying to say. I was trying to say that if you have dandruff or what we call seborrheic dermatitis, or your scalp is flaky, that usually calls for more frequent hair washing. So once a week is what I recommend. I usually don't recommend going longer than 2 weeks if you have seborrheic dermatitis.
But the other thing I will say about lace fronts now, I think you shouldn't wear them all the time because also friction. So if you're constantly taking something on and off, or something's rubbing against your hair, then that can cause some breakage and thinning as well. So yeah, if it's too tight, not even just too tight pulling in your hair, but too tight around your head, that can cause issues too.
So is it safe to say a lot of the styles that we're using or we're doing are not protective styles and might be causing alopecia?
Absolutely. And I know people, like on social media, I know some people aren't gonna like this. One thing I cannot stand to see is these viral videos of women with alopecia. They're braiding their hair tight. They're still braiding their hair tight, and then they're sewing hair to the little bit of hair that they have left. That's just causing more damage.
Hey guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, and comment. You never know when I might be in the comments. And also, thank you guys for continuing to watch.